there. So, welcome to Cards at Home for May 2020. So, this is my first card that I'm going to be teaching you how to make. So, let's get started. What's in the envelope? Yay, how exciting. Alright, so we've got, or you should have a piece like this. Now, I don't know if you can actually see on this, but it is, it's been embossed with the subtle embossing folder. You should have a card, you should have instructions, and a piece of that, one of them, two of them, and these bits here. Okay, so in your instructions it will tell you what I've used for all of it, but just in case you're curious, I've used this stamp set, Sailing Home, and the dies are a bit of a jumble, but they actually match it and they cut out all the different bits to go with it. So, and then I've also used a couple of the rectangle stitched framelits. So what I've done is I've placed them one inside the other and cut them through on the big shot. So that's that. Okay, so taking the first thing that I've put on the list is to take your piece of embossed cardstock and colour it up. So you want a blue for this because you're obviously going to be doing sort of sea-like. I have gone with Pool Party, although I've got a feeling that I didn't use Pool Party the first time round, so we'll see how we go. Take your Dauber and let it run out as you go up the page. So just keep going up. And as I say, just allow it to run out as you get up further up the page so that you've got like almost like a depth of ocean sort of down the bottom. You don't need to worry too much if it ends up with sort of blobby bits because it's going to have stuff on top of it anyway. So and then just to make sure it's going to stand out on the cardstock behind it, I would just go around the edges like this and just until you're happy with the way that it looks. So I think I'm okay with that. Might look a bit patchy, but as I said, it's got stuff going on top of it, so by the time everything's on top of it, it won't look so patchy. Yay! Alright, now do you see how it stands out now from the card? So now you just want to pop that on. I'm just going to use a bit of this stuff, the Tombow or multi-purpose liquid glue, if you want its full proper name. And you just want to stick that down on the back. The nice thing with the glue is that you've got a little bit of movement in it, so if you're not quite there with the straight sides, you can slightly move it around and get it into the right position. And I'm really sorry if you're wobbling around there, because this is actually attached onto the table because I don't have any other way of attaching it. So next thing we're going to make up your fish. So believe it or not, this is going to be your fish. So I have put a little thingo on here that sort of shows how the fish is done. You're going to cut off there. Might be easier to hold it there really, mightn't it? There and there. Like that. And same on this side. There. There. And there, and obviously we don't need this bit unless you want to give your fish feet, which might look a little weird. Not really sure about fish with feet unless it's a axolotl or whatever it is that they're called. Anyway, moving on from that. So I've taken the slightly larger piece and used it to create a tail. So just, whoops, just like that. And then you can add a teeny bit of glue, pop the tail on, and preferably it doesn't stick to your finger, it just sticks to itself. Ooh. Might actually move on to using snail adhesive rather than this. I find snail a little bit easier to use sometimes when it comes to things like this. So if you just shove a heap of snail on the back, then what you can do is just add your fins. So 1 fin, 2 fins, that's 1 down. Just do the same with this one. Oh, I haven't done that yet. Okay, well, we'll just add the fins first then. 1 fin, 2 fins. And on the other hand, I might need a little bit more on there because my fins are going to overlap each other. Oh, 2 fins. And so I've used the bulb builder punch to create the body of the fish, and then, as you saw, the leaf punch to create the fins and the tail, just for something completely different. There we go. 1, 2 fishies. Then, so next you actually just want to design your card. So what I've tried to do with mine is, because I'm not overly sure that he looks that fabulous with his tail sort of like having a join in the middle of it, is I've tried to sort of cover up the join in the tail. So potentially you could have your fishes swimming in different directions. So maybe have him coming out and him going under. And then, oh well, I suppose they could be swimming downwards. Cut that underneath. This one on top. So sort of arrange everything the way that you think you're going to want it, and then go ahead and stick it down, and then give your fish eyes. So do the eyes last because the eyes have it. And then the last thing to do, once you've got everything stuck down, is just to decide what saying you want on there. And I used "Let hope be the anchor, be your anchor through the storms of life," because I absolutely love that saying. However, after having made the card, I realised that it actually doesn't have an anchor on it. But, you know, you kind of get the gist. All right, so that's the first card. I will see you in a minute for the second card.